Hello everybody, this is the Chezz here, and today I'm actually going to be doing a tutorial video on how to chroma key, or in other words, green screen. And that is due to this comment right here, and probably some other ones as well, that were asking me how I did the effects in my little dance video right here. So I figured today I would go into depth on how to do it so that you could do something similar and just allows you guys to do some cooler things and make some cooler videos in general, whether it be in Wizards, a different game, or even in real life. So the first thing you have to know about chroma keying is that it has to be done with a solid color background. It doesn't matter what the color is, it could be red, it could be blue, it could be green, it could be orange, it doesn't matter. The only thing that you have to remember is that the subject you're trying to cut out, in this case my wizard, cannot have any of those colors on them. And that includes like my skin tone, you know, any clothes I'm wearing, my pet, if I had the pet out, my wand. So for instance, obviously I couldn't use red because I'm wearing red, and I probably wouldn't use blue either because my sword is blue, but I could use something such as green. The only thing that might interfere is my hat has some yellows in it, but that should be okay. So that's all you have to take into consideration. It doesn't matter what the color is, just make sure that the thing you are cutting out doesn't have any colors that are similar and definitely not exact. So this could be done anywhere. I just prefer someplace in Mushu because Mushu has a lot of greens, so it's very easy to find a place to green screen. So in this case, we are at the small Mushu house, which is the Tranquil Cottage, so the smaller Mushu house. And the place that I usually do this is right over here on this little hill, because it's a relatively solid color background. Obviously there's different shades of green, but for the most part it's all green. And it doesn't matter if there's some sky above me and, you know, the water to the right, stuff to the left, as long as everything directly around my wizard is the color that we need. So right now I'm completely surrounded by green, and this effect will work. So then, you know, you can either just cut your wizard out, or if you wanna, you know, do something fancy and you wanna do the bee dance or something. Boom. Oh yeah, we're bee dancing. I mean, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Doesn't matter. Just make sure that you stay relatively still. The stiller you are, the better it'll come out. You don't want to be moving the camera around a bunch. So after you're done recording it, you bring it into your favorite editor and continue from there. Now this effect can't be done in Windows Movie Maker as far as I know. You will need something a little bit better than that. For me, I personally use Vegas. I use Sony Vegas just because it's something I'm the most familiar with. So I'm just going to use what I'm comfortable with. It doesn't really matter as long as you have the chroma key effect. It'll all work relatively the same. But then what you're going to do is just bring your footage into your editor and make sure you get to wherever it is you need to start it. So we're just going to find where I'm actually in front of the background here. Something else you can do with Sony Vegas is once you bring in your clips, right-click on them and go to Properties, and then go to Disable Resample, and hit OK. And that basically just will change the way that it'll like interlace the frames. And so without it, you can kind of see there's like some blurriness. It kind of looks like it's like fading each one into each other, like that. Like, yeah, you can see it really good right there. But if you disable the resample, then it doesn't do that. So it just makes it look a lot crisper and nicer, especially if you're recording at 60 frames per second. It'll just look a lot nicer. But anyway, so just cut until where you're, you know, doing whatever it is you're doing that you want to green screen. And then what you're going to want to do is go into this right here, the event pan and crop, or you can right click and go to video event pan and crop. And that'll bring up this little box. Then what you're going to do is check the mask tool, enable the mask, and just click on the first keyframe. And you're going to mask out around your wizard. Mask out around your wizard. Which, in order to do that, all you have to do is click. And then every time you click, it'll create a new little point. And you just make a little thing around your wizard. Doesn't have to look pretty or anything. All you're basically doing is cutting out all the other stuff other than the green stuff and your wizard. So just making a little circle around them. And then once you connect the last dots together, it'll look like this. Everything else will be cut out except your wizard and whatever you circled. Then what you're going to do is either click right here, or you can right click and go to Video Event Effects, and from here it'll show all the different effects that we have in Sony Vegas, and we're going to go to Sony Chroma Keyer. So just double click on that and hit OK, and now we can chroma key. So uncheck it first, just so it's not doing anything, and bring down this and click on the little color picker tool, and then you click on one of the shades of green, somewhere in there, you just click on a green, and then you can see it changes to green, and then re-enable the chroma keyer. And to make this a little easier and a little easier to see, right-click on your video right here, the video layer. Right-click on it and hit Insert Video Track. And then right-click on the video track, go to Insert Generated Media, go to Solid Color, and then it doesn't really matter what color. It's basically just so we can see. It's not black. Black is kind of difficult to see, so we'll change it to like a really bright blue or purple or whatever. I'm colorblind. I don't know the difference. And then just make sure that this layer is underneath your green screen layer by just dragging that down. And so now, as you can see, I'm really see-through, and you can also very vaguely see the outline. So that's where you have to start messing with the settings. The chroma keyer is very finicky. It's not perfect, so it will require a lot of trial and error. You might even want to choose a different shade of green and just mess around with it a bunch. It does take a lot of finessing to get it to look good. Generally, you pick the color, you turn it on, and then you play with the highs and lows here. So we might want to bring down the highs so that I'm not cut out, bring up the lows. Right there, even that looks really, really good. The blur amount, don't mess with that. Keep it at 0, because if you turn up the blur, it gets this weird, shadowy, hazy thing, because it's blurring the mask. Which, I mean, if you want that, if that's the look you're going for, do it. But if you want it to be super crisp, make sure it is at 0. So right there is a pretty good mask. You can't see the green at all. It doesn't look like I'm see-through anywhere. And if you play the video of me dancing, you can see that I'm just dancing. So the next thing you want to do is move your wizard to wherever it is you want them to be. So right click again, go to the video event pan and crop, and instead of doing the mask, we're going to click on one of these keyframes and just simply zoom in by just, moving the edges. Zoom in, position him where I want him. I want him relatively in the middle here, kind of big. And so now he's nice and big. Yeah. As I said, my hat did have some problems because it has shades of color very similar to the greens, which we might be able to fix if we mess with it a little more. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. So if we just turn down our high threshold just a bit there, then that looks pretty decent. So again, it's all about just messing with these settings, and if it doesn't work at all, just try a different shade of green. So from this point, you could basically just mess with different effects. You could put some effects on your wizard to make them look different, or put some effects on the background, maybe put some pictures behind them. Because at this point, you can literally do anything. I could put this random picture. Oh, look, I'm in some weird space background. Whoa, I'm in space. My wizard's in space. It's crazy. But another little thing that I did to kind of add to the realisticness of it is I added a shadow to the wizard. So as you can see, my wizard doesn't have its own shadow. I turned shadows off in the settings because I like to add my own, and it allows for more options if I do it myself. So what I did for the dance video is I duplicated the layer. So Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste. So now there are 2 of the layers right underneath each other. And with the one that's underneath, you make it just a little bit offset so you can kind of see it behind him like that. He's a little bit behind him and a little bit like to the side. And then what you do is you go to the video event effects for that layer, add the brightness and contrast, and you drop the brightness all the way down so that's black. So as you can see, it already looks like a shadow, but we're not done yet. We're gonna add some blur to the mask, so go back to the chroma keyer and add some blur so that it's a little bit blurry. It's not so sharp. And then also right here, go to the video that is the shadow and go to the top of it and just drop it down slightly. Maybe like halfway around there. So that is the opacity. That's how see-through it is. So for instance, if I do it on the other layer, you'll see I become see-through or completely invisible. But you just drop it down for the shadow so that there's just kind of a nice little shadow. So it gives some depth to it, makes it look like our wizard is in front of a wall or something. And so yeah, at this point you're literally just playing with effects, playing with the music, and just doing random things. You could put your wizard anywhere, do anything with them. You could do this with other objects. If you have a green screen, you could do this with your, yourself in real life. Possibilities are pretty much endless, but like I said, all you need to know is that you need a solid color background. Make sure the thing you are cutting out doesn't have any colors similar to the background. And then you just put the chroma key effect on there, mess with the colors, mess with the settings, and you can pretty much do anything. Hope you liked the video. Be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more. If there's other tutorials you guys want, let me know. Because although I probably won't make too many more Wizard videos, I would love to give you guys tutorials on how to make videos. So anything you're curious about, let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. And also, if you want to see real-life examples of green screening and chroma keying, check out me and Tony's new channel, So Good Videos. We put up a new green screen dance video where we dress as dads and we fly through space and all this weird stuff. And it's 100% shot on a green screen, and it's pretty funny. So go check it out. There'll be an annotation, or you can check out the link in the description. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.